Shalom. Let's give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that taught us this word. I just want to talk about being vigilant, being circumspect in this truth, because there's all sorts of temptations out there. You know, devils out there, Satan's out there trying to pull you out this truth, man. And you got to go through all different types of trials and tribulations, and ultimately, the time of Jacob's trouble. So, you need to, pray, watch, because he's going to come at you at all angles. So you gotta be sober, be vigilant, look around, man, be circumspect. Very careful in this truth. Pretty much gotta walk on eggshells, man. Satan get in your head, have you thinking all types of crazy thoughts, or whatever. Get in your family's head, get in your woman's head, have them thinking stuff, they end up losing your job or whatever. But you gotta be vigilant. The first scripture is First Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Yeah, Satan's always on the hunt. The devil's always on the hunt to get you out this truth, man. But you gotta be sober-minded and vigilant. Look up that word vigilant in the etymology dictionary. It means watchful, anxious, careful. To keep watch, keep awake, not to sleep. Be watchful. Always watch your surroundings, man. And be circumspect. Wherever you go. Pray for peace. If you get in your car, you drive somewhere, pray that the Most High, Yahweh Yahushua, get you to that destination and back home safely. Next scripture is Ephesians 5:15. Or I'll start at 14. Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. You come to this truth, man. You gotta walk circumspectly, look around, be careful, don't be a fool. You always gotta be wise, you gotta use wisdom at all times when you come into this truth, man. Because you're gonna be tempted, you're gonna be tested. Trials, tribulations. And even the Most High is gonna chastise you, You have to endure all that. Redeeming the time, because the days are evil. These days are evil right now. So you gotta be careful who you deal with. You gotta be careful who you spend your time with. Certain dudes hang out with a certain guy, and he ends up getting caught up something, and now he ends up doing something, and now you're an accessory to whatever. Hanging out with the wrong people. You're supposed to do away with 2/3 when you come to this truth, man. But yeah, it's like, it says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. You look up that word circumspect, it's the same thing, Be cautious, weary, literally looking about on all sides. You gotta be guarded, well considered, deliberate, look around, take heed. You gotta take heed to your surroundings, take heed to the people that you associate with. Next scripture is Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Yeah, we got this weak flesh that we're in, man. This weak flesh is of us, of the world. It craves the world, things of the world, the temptations of the world. But the spirit is willing. Your spirit wants to do right. But the flesh, he wants to do the ways of the world. It's always a battle between your spirit and your flesh. It's always a battle. That's why you gotta watch and pray. I gotta pray to keep that Yahushua keeps you in the spirit. When you're out and about, when you're out here in the world, man. It's like the spirit is indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So it's always a constant battle. But the last scripture is 2 Ezra 7:3. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river. Who then could go into the sea and look upon it, and rule it? If he not went through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There's also another thing. A city is builded and is set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. So yeah, I mean this path and this truth, the path to the kingdom, it's a very narrow path. You know, you got fire. It's like you have fire on one side and water on the other, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Yeah, you know that path this truth is so small, so narrow. Only one brother can get home at once, man. No one can hold your hand in this thing. You ain't got no brother on the side of you. So you got to make sure your mind is in the right place and you're doing the right thing. And you're constantly, as best to your ability, staying in the spirit. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Yeah, so he's like, we have to go through this danger. We have to go through these temptations, these trials, tribulations, and ultimately, the time of Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. We have to go through it. But as the scriptures say, watch and pray so that you don't fall into temptation. That's the key right there. And to be in the spirit and to have faith. You know. Yeah, so just, you got to be careful out here, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, seeking whom he can devour. That's his main job, trying to find people to devour. But yeah, I just want to talk about, be vigilant, be circumspect, look around, be careful. Always got to be careful. You got to walk on eggshells, man. You got to be very careful in this thing, man. And with that, shalom.